Hello and welcome to a special broadcast on India Today. I'm Gaurav Sawant. Our top focus story is the joint exercises that's taking place at the Warrington Air Force Base in the United Kingdom. And you have the Mirage 2000 fighter jets of the Indian Air Force participating in this very special exercise. So this is both a tactical exercise where 7 air forces are participating. It's also a large-scale air operation exercise. This is the first time that the Indian Air Force is part of this very important and crucial exercise called Cobra Warriors.
Indian Air Force Mirage fighter jets in action with US FA teams being used by the Finnish Air Force. Taking off from the Waddington Air Base in UK, the venue of the exercise Cobra Warrior. Indian Air Force contingent comprising 145 Air Warriors at the Waddington Air Force Base of the Royal Air Force in United Kingdom.
The Indian Air Force's Mirage 2000 fighter jets taking off from the Warrington Air Base. The British Air Force that are part of this drill that's taking place right now at the Warrington Air Base. The Indian Air Force has been carrying out several drills like this with all the participating nations.
The exercise scheduled from 6th of March 2023 to 24th of March. The Indian Air Force contingent is drawn from 3 separate squadrons, including the one that was tasked with carrying out the Balakot airstrike on a terror camp in Pakistan in 2019.
India Today is at the Royal Air Force Base in Waddington. This is the first time the Indian Air Force is taking part in this exercise, and these are the pilots who are participating in this exercise. It's interesting to note that the 7th Squadron of the Indian Air Force, which was also part of the Balakot airstrikes, is in fact part of this contingent. And this is a very important exercise as far as the Indian Air Force is concerned, because this is the first time the Indian Air Force is here carrying out joint operations with air forces from several other countries, 7 countries participating, and there are a lot of key learnings and takeaways for the Indian Air Force that they will take back with them.
The exercise Cobra Warrior is a multilateral air exercise in which air forces from Finland, Sweden, South Africa, United States of America and Singapore are participating alongside Royal Air Force and Indian Air Force. This is Indian Air Force's maiden presence at the exercise hosted by UK.
The biggest takeaway for us would probably be the short time frame in which we've been able to deploy out here and participate with the other nations and adapt quickly to the environment. So we've done fairly complex missions, and I guess that is the biggest takeaway, ability to come and operate in a very short time frame and adapt quickly. That's been the biggest takeaway.
The Indian Air Force is participating in the exercise this year with 5 Mirage 2000 fighters, 2 C-17 Globemaster III and an IL-78 mid-air refueler aircraft. The aim of the exercise is to participate in diverse fighter aircraft engagements and learn from the best practices of various air forces.
So 18 fighter pilots, 100 air warriors and Mirage 2000 fighter planes, the same Mirage 2000s that actually bombed Pakistan's Balakot, participated in this exercise. Why is this a very crucial exercise? Oh, incidentally, the initial plan was to send the light combat aircrafts for this exercise, but then those aircraft were deployed in another air exercise, and that is why the Mirage 2000s were chosen. Well, these Mirages have been drawn from the 3 squadrons of the Indian Air Force. they have shown extremely good jointmanship. That's what we've been told so far. The exercises were extremely successful. The Indian Air Force pilots, the aircraft, the entire crew, they've done extremely well. And it has been, we are told, a great learning experience.
Indian Air Force's Mirage fighter jets have been flying in the grey-blue skies over Warrington. Indian fighter pilots literally crisscrossing the globe in different war drills. The Indian Air Force looking to be a force with a global presence. Indian Air Warriors and assets were in action simultaneously in UK, UAE and Japan in different exercise and drills.
We are at the Waddington Air Base of the Royal Air Force. This is where the exercise involving 7 countries is taking place. The Indian Air Force is also here. There is a contingent of about 100 air warriors that have come here operating with their Mirage 2000s. 18 pilots in all, and they're getting ready for one of the drills that will take place. And it's a very crucial exercise as far as the Indian Air Force is concerned. This is the first time the Indian Air Force is part of this exercise, and operating very closely with the air forces from Saudi Arabia, from UK, from US, Finland, Belgium and Sweden. These are the countries that are participating in this exercise.
The initial plan was to get the indigenous LCA Tejas to UK, but then Tejas made its presence in UAE. India hoping to make a strong pitch for the Indian-made fighter jet to the nation. The Mirages have undergone upgrades, the latest sophisticated version in 2015. Be it the latest Tejas or Sukhois. Jaguars or MiGs. Indian fighter jets have been part of international exercises of late. The frequency of Indian Air Force's presence in such exercises is increasing.
It's not often that you have 7 major air forces of across the world, from the United Kingdom to Finland to Sweden to South Africa to Saudi Arabia, participating in an exercise together. This incidentally is the first time that Indian Air Force is part of this exercise, and this is extremely important because it gives you an experience of joint operations and knowing what standard operating procedures are for other air forces around the world. It also enables you to be able to have synergy with other air forces. In this report, we get you much more on how air forces from 7 different countries came together. India Today's Abhishek Bhalla is on ground zero. He sent us this report.
Mirages, F-18s, F-16s, Typhoons, a rare occasion, the world's all-lethal fighter jets coming together. This is for exercise Cobra Warrior, hosted by UK. The exercise takes place twice a year and is the largest air exercise run by the Royal Air Force. The exercise is designed to train participants in high-intensity, large force, tactical air war fighting operations with over 70 aircraft taking part. Not just India, the other first-timers are the Finnish, and Saudi Air Forces. While the Indian Air Force has 5 Mirage fighter jets, here's what others have got. The Saudis are flying 6 Typhoons, 6 F-16s of the Belgian Air Force, 6 F-18s from the Finnish Air Force, the US has brought in AWACS. The Finnish participation is part of a wider training activity in support of the UK-led Joint Expeditionary Force Cobra Warrior. The fast jets are supported by RAF Voyager aircraft conducting air-to-air refueling operations flying from RAF Brize Norton. The RAF's Air Mobility Force will be taking part in the exercise, with sorties including deploying elements of 16 Air Assault Brigade during an associated ground mission that forms part of the overall exercise scenario. The Air Forces are looking to bring together capabilities and deliver the full spectrum of air operations, including defensive and offensive counter-air as well as strike operations. These include RAF Regiment Precision Strike Teams, air maneuver operations to support ground forces, and also developing our joint personnel recovery capability.
This is the main mission planning room where, apart from a lot of action that takes place outside in the airfields, a lot of discussions take place, a lot of planning takes place, and officials from all the participating air forces are right here, speaking to each other and just getting a closer understanding, a closer look of what exactly needs to be done. It's an important exercise been done every now and then, and it's from here, from the mission planning room, that the participating air forces get to know what exactly their plans are and how to implement it. It's not too often that you see 7 air forces from different parts of the world coming together. Lots of classified information that each one of them have. So how do you deal with such situations, and what is the level of synergy, jointmanship and coordination that you have achieved here?
And so we operate a fictitious scenario, so we're not pretending that we're at war with a specific nation. So we have a general threat that we train to with a set of disclosed numbers that are representative of an adversary, but they are not exactly classified numbers, because, as you say, each nation has its own classified information. So we protect that by we set a generic set of numbers that everyone works to that don't necessarily apply to a specific country or aeroplane.
Cobra Warrior provides an invaluable opportunity for international allies and partners to train together in developing operational tactics in the air. The exercise aims to synchronize multi-domain effects, and so includes not just the air domain but also space and cyber, and for this iteration, land as well. The airspace for the exercise includes parts of the north of England and Scotland, plus out over the North Sea.
The Indian Air Force has been carrying out a series of bilateral and multilateral exercises with multiple other air forces across the world, and this gives more experience to our pilots and also better understanding of air operations in various environments. You also learn how various air forces are operating in their environment. Joint operations extremely crucial in an interconnected world. That is all we have for you on this special edition of Battle Cry. Many thanks for watching. News and updates continue on India Today. Stay with us.